Okay, Carrie, roll call.
Martin Cazada,
Here.
Jose Arenas,
Here.
Hilda Ortega Rosales,
You're on mute.
Here.
There you go.
Jet White,
Here.
Susan Sarin,
Here.
Matthew,
Here.
Andrew,
Here.
Eileen.
Here.
There being 5 members, there is a quorum.
I'll call the regular meeting of the Pendergast Elementary School District to order. As a happy Teacher Appreciation Week, I see lots of things on Facebook. It is really great. It's great that we honor our teachers, and I'm glad there's been a lot on Facebook. Thank you, thank you. As a reminder, please mute your microphones when others are speaking and unmute when it's your turn. This will help with any background noise. Welcome everyone joining us on Facebook Live to view our meeting. Effective immediately and until further notice, the Pendergast School District Governing Board will be enforcing the Center for Disease Control guidance to limit all public gatherings to 10 people. As such, this meeting will be held telephonically with no public in-person attendance. There will be no call to the public, and this is referenced by Arizona Attorney General's opinion dated March 13th, 2020, concerning the open meeting law and COVID-19. Again, welcome. Thanks for joining. Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Carrie, roll call.
Martin Cazada,
Yes.
Jose Arenas,
Yes.
Hilda Ortega Rosales,
Yes.
Jet White,
Yes.
Susan Sarin.
Yes.
There being 5 in favor, the motion carries.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting of April 21st, 2020?
So moved.
I'll second that. Any discussion? Carrie, roll call.
Martin Cazada,
Yes.
Jose Arenas, Hilda Ortega Rosales,
Yes.
Jet White,
Yes.
Susan Sarin.
Yes.
There being 5 in favor, the motion carries.
Thank you. And then we are so thrilled to have our student board members here, and I'll call them out, and if they have any reports, you know, they'll let us know what's going on. Eileen, do you want to start it off?
Yes. Okay. Good evening, Madam President, esteemed board members, and members of the audience. I'm Eileen, representing the schools of Phoenix. The Phoenix schools teachers and students have made the best of this unique experience to stay connected. Teachers are using Google Classroom, Zoom, Class Dojo, Edpuzzle, and School Status to provide instruction and to communicate with parents. Teachers have been very creative in presenting content and providing opportunities for interaction with Zoom calls. The Phoenix School's biggest hit with the Pendergast community has been the videos, car parades, and the 8th grade virtual promotion ceremonies. Teacher Appreciation Week is this week, and they will be appreciated by the way of special gifts from the administration and PTAs. We love our teachers and admire their hard work and dedication towards students. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Matthew, would you like to go next?
Good afternoon, Madam President, esteemed board members, Dr. Blue, and members of the audience. The Glendale schools miss their kids. Even though we are not in the same physical space, our Glendale school communities are united and working together. Mr. Renevsky, Mr. Williams, and Mr. Wakobo are working with their staff to make sure the 8th graders have a virtual promotion experience they will remember. Teachers are working hard to engage their students online, and teachers at all 3 sites are busy preparing class lists and planning for next year's in hopes we will be back together soon.
Thank you, Matthew. And Andrew, you're up next.
Good evening, esteemed board members, Madam President, and members of Dr. Blue and members of the audience. I am Andrew, representing the schools in the city of Avondale. Principal Pizzo, Principal Helen, and Principal McCarthy are all so proud of our teachers. Their commitment to continuous learning and the online and hard copy work they have produced for students. Google Classrooms look fantastic. Teachers are connecting by phone and text message through school status and holding Zoom meetings to continue to maintain relationships with students and families. We celebrated our amazing teachers by giving virtual gift cards, coupons for duty coverage, and extended lunch times, mailed letters, and created kudo boards of appreciation. Ms. Pizzo wanted to extend a thank you to the board members and cabinet for writing on the kudo boards.
Thank you so much. I'm going to ask our student board members, are you excited about tomorrow?
Yes, I am very excited about tomorrow.
Yes, we are very excited for the upcoming surprise. Like, I'm really curious of what it's going to be, and I'm very excited also.
Matthew, are you too?
Ms. Paulmeyer also told us that we have 24 hours to guess what it is.
So you're going to make a list of guesses? We should ask you before they open it up. Before they open the presents up, we should ask what your guesses are. So hopefully everybody.
And then right before we open it, you guys tell us if any of us got it right.
No, we won't tell you that. We want to see your faces when you open them up. Okay? It's going to be one big surprise. And I hope the other board members and I hope cabinet can join us too tomorrow for the Zoom call. And remember, students, your parents are also invited. So it's going to be a good time. Thank you so much. Next on the agenda, Dr. DeBlue, do you want to tell us of any current events?
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, members of the community, student board members, and staff, welcome. It's great to see you again via our Zoom meeting. Lots going on, but I won't keep you for hours. First of all, I just want to thank these three amazing board members, the student board members who just do a great job, and I'm so excited for them. I hope I can sleep tonight just thinking about what you're going to be getting in the morning. Also want to thank my cabinet. As always, they're just working fast and furious to make sure that we're still feeding kids and still instructing them. Yep, it's going on at Pendergast. We got a $5,000 grant thanks to NETA to pursue our census work, which is really, really exciting. ACF, Arizona Community Foundation, gave us $10,000 for technology. So we are just rolling with all the freebies. Walmart gave us 6 pallets of good stuff. Chick-fil-A gave us food for every staff member, and Peter Piper Pizza. L&R Roofing gave us $3,000 to help feed our families. Orchid Windows sent us some quarantine books, and I could go on, but not tonight. We'll save some for another day. So thank you, thank you, thank you. But the big people this week are our amazing teachers because it's Teacher Week. I can't tell you how proud I am of each and every one of our teachers. Check out all the videos, the pictures on Twitter, on Facebook. You'll not only giggle a little, cry a little, but most important, you'll see how awesome our staff is. And once again, would like to thank our board for the great work you're doing in supporting everything we're doing at Pendergast. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. DeBlue. Ms. Ortega-Rosales, do you want to go next?
Hello, everyone, and happy Cinco de Mayo to everyone. Today is Cinco de Mayo, and I'm hoping that all of you are enjoying your day. I just want to thank, as we have in the last couple of meetings, our teachers, all our staff, the cabinet, and all of the work that they have done to ensure that our kids, our students, are able to continue to learn despite these challenging times. So thanks to everyone for all your hard work. And in particular, our teachers for the Teacher Appreciation Week. Thank you for all your efforts. Keep up your spirits. Thank you.
Thank you, Hilda. Mr. White?
Thank you, Madam President.
Yeah, I know last week as well was Principals Day and as well as Food Service Day, so I want to give a shout out to those folks. And then, like already has been mentioned, Teacher Appreciation Week with Teacher Appreciation Day being today. So thank you to my fellow educators out there for everything that you do. I know that thank you for everything that you do is pretty generic. And I hear it all the time, but really, truly, especially during these times, thank you. Like's already been mentioned, there was a video from Sunset Ridge, I think, that I saw today with Full House, with a Full House parody, which brought a smile to my face after a very long Tuesday already. So there are some great things to bring a smile and keep those relationships going in the community. Like Dr. Blue mentioned as well, I'd encourage folks to fill out their census, especially with the West Side growing. Make sure that we're counted out here and making sure that we get the resources that we need for folks in our community, and then also to register to vote, my.arizona.vote, and you can request an early ballot already, I believe, or to vote by mail already, with the primary already kind of coming up and on the horizon in a couple of months. With that being said, also I had the opportunity to watch the LD29 debate last night with the House members that are looking to represent LD29. So I'd encourage folks to look for that on YouTube, and just with that Teacher Appreciation Week and Principal Day and Food Service Day, I know that there's a lot of criticism out there about what we do sometimes, and folks that think that they have things figured out that maybe don't attend our board meetings or don't come to our schools. And so I would highly encourage everybody, and I don't know who's watching us live. I hope that some of those folks are, but I would highly encourage folks to get involved in our district and really see the wonderful things that are going on, because I'm really proud, not only as an educator and as a teacher for almost 11 years now, going on 12, and part of this community, but also I'm proud to send my daughter to Pendergast schools, and Katie as well, hopefully once she gets old enough. So again, thank you to all of the staff, teachers especially during this week, but everybody all the time.
Thank you, Jed. Senator Quezada.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Madam President, and thank you everyone for joining us once again for another Zoom board meeting. I'm still getting used to this. I guess just a couple of things. I also wanted to say thank you to our teachers for Appreciation Day and Appreciation Week. You guys have done a lot. I know for me as an individual, I think back of all the educators I've had in my time, and they've all played a very important role in making me who I am today. So I'm very appreciative to all of them. And I'm sure our student board members, you'll remember a lot of your teachers that you had here in Pendergast and think the same thing. As far as from the state level, things that are going on, I think it's important to share some of the numbers. I think I gave you some numbers last week or last meeting too. But as of this morning, there were 9,350 positive coronavirus cases in Arizona. That's an increase of 431 since yesterday. So we're actually going up. And there's been 395 deaths, and that's an increase of 33 since yesterday. So the number of positive cases and the number of deaths continued to rise. And in total, we've only done a little over 88,000 total tests. So we haven't tested very many people, but our numbers are still going up, and the numbers are going up. They're gonna start going up a lot more these next couple of days, but our numbers are going up in everything. So even though the numbers are going up, there's a lot of talk right now about ending the shutdown and kind of trying to get phasing in a getting back to normal type of a situation. And I think that, especially from the governor's office, that's happening a lot right now. Just a little while ago, most of the legislators at the Capitol were in agreement that we would end the session for the year. We would come in and just end everything and just be done for the year. But then the stay-at-home order was extended or amplified, and a lot of the protests started getting a lot more heated and a lot more aggressive. And so our governor, to his credit, he maintained the stay-at-home order, but he's getting a lot of pressure from the outside, from protests, and from the inside, I think a lot of the legislators are changing their minds now too, and they want to stay open. They want to keep the session open so they can call us back at any time. And they want to do that for 3 reasons. One, they want to, if the governor decides that we do need to continue the stay-at-home order, they want to be able to come back to the Capitol and override him and pass like a resolution that would cancel all of the executive orders that have happened so far. They also want to do more bills. All of the bills that they were working on earlier in the session, they want to come back and do those bills. And then there's some people that only want to come back and do bills that are related to the virus. So, but I think right now a lot of people they want to come back now and keep the session open. So what does that mean? I think it's important to know that, like I said before, the numbers are still rising, and most experts are telling us that it's still too early to kind of get back to normal, to start opening things up, and for social distancing to step back. And our own testing numbers are telling us that too. But I think we still will probably see an opening that is going to happen. The governor announced that, and that probably will happen within the next week and a half. We're going to see some stepped up openings of restaurants, of barbershops and things like that. And then some more opening the week after that, and then some more things opening the week after that. So it's going to start opening up a lot. So I guess my point in giving you guys all that update is I want to just encourage you guys that even if the state says it's okay to get back to normal, we should still try to stay home as much as we can. Still do all the things like wash your hands, still do all the things like just keeping as clean as possible, and not interacting with people that we know are already sick, and just try to kind of maintain space around you and your family as much as possible, because this virus isn't going away. So with that, I just wanted to ask a couple of things of the community. And I mentioned this in the video that I recorded the other day, but if anybody needs help with anything until we do open up, feel free to call the district. Our district has been great about helping people out, and it's with anything from food to not getting kicked out of their house or their apartment. So any of those things, whatever you need help with, call our school district, and we will try to help you. And our Dr. DeBlue and her team are doing a great job of helping people. Or call my office at the state capitol. And I know I've been getting a lot of calls about evictions this whole time. Even though they're not supposed to be evicting people, people are still getting evicted. And so I know that they're calling my office and asking for help with that. So if you need help, don't be ashamed to ask. Reach out for some help, and we will all do all we can to find you the help that you need. I want to echo what Mr. White said just a minute ago. 1, fill out the census. It's very important. But 2, go watch that debate that happened last night. And it's at the YouTube for the Citizens Clean Elections Commission page. The debate got very heated when they started talking about education, and they almost started fighting with each other. So it was pretty interesting. So that's still a hot topic, education. So it'll be interesting to see kind of where the different people stand in terms of what their positions are regarding public education. So take a look at that if you have the time. And then lastly, I agree with Jet that you please request a mail ballot for this upcoming election. People can still do that. You can request a ballot just for this election, or you can request a ballot for all elections permanently. So whichever one you want to do, please do it for this election, because I'm hearing from the county right now that they're going to reduce the number of polling locations by a lot. There's usually over 500 polling places where people go vote on election day, and this year there could be as few as only 75. And so that's going to be really tough for a lot of people to find those places and vote. So it'll be a lot easier if you sign up for the early ballot. And I sent a letter to the governor, and this is my last thing, but I'll tell you guys, I sent a letter to the governor today asking him to call for an all-mail election this year using his executive power. And he has the power to do that. So I'm hoping he will respond and do something about making this an all-mail election, because this will definitely be one of the most important elections in a lot of our lifetimes. So please participate. And I think that's all I got. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator. Great update. Mr. Arenas?
Yeah, just a couple of things to Eileen, Matthew, and Andrew. Sincere appreciation for all your work you've done this year. We really truly appreciate your advocacy for your peers and for your respective schools and communities. So you're certainly rising stars, each of you, and you've done a wonderful job this year in representing your specific schools and communities. So congratulations, and I know this is not an easy task, in terms of your 8th grade year. With that said, and another hat I wear, this morning, midday, we were passing out caps and gowns to high school students. And I say that to you 3 students because how tough it is for you not to be able to formally go through a process and or activity at your respective school as an 8th grader who will be promoting. It's even more tougher, man. You look at our seniors who worked 12 years, 13 years to get to the point to graduate from high school. So I spoke to a lot of families this afternoon regarding that. So I know it's tough times. Thank you again for doing what you do. Also, a big shout out to our classified support staff who've worked tirelessly on just these last few weeks of providing food, support services, and or any support efforts that they need in the district. So I think that's our pull. Teachers, again, it is Teacher Appreciation Week. So again, a shout out much what was already said. And again, Principal Day, which we've missed already a few days ago. So I do want to shout out to our principals as well. That's all I have at this point. Thank you. And I hope each and every one of you and your families are doing well.
Thank you, Jose. Appreciate it. And I also want to give my thanks to the teachers. They do a fantastic job, even at home, reaching out to our students. I've heard so many positive things. They do a great job. They're loyal, they're dedicated, and they truly love their students. And I know they miss them terribly. Thank you, Dr. DeBlue, to you, to Cabinet, to all the staff for keeping our district going. And everything on Facebook, honoring our teachers, I think that is fantastic. I've been watching it all day and yesterday, and it is really great. Some of the ingenuity of some of our schools, it's been great. Again, thank you very much. And I also want to thank, I know the Believers Awards are coming out. Of course, we can't have a ceremony like we have in the past, but thank you for updating us on some of the comments from the teachers that have been selected for the Believers Award. And I want to thank you on behalf of the board for the Superintendent's Believer Award. Thank you. We are really, really honored with that. You do such a great job. You need your own award. You truly do, Dr. DeBlue. You have kept this district running, and we really appreciate it. And again, thank you to everyone, because our district is the best. We're on top of things. It's amazing the grants, the donations to our families, the outpouring that you have received for our families and staff. That is fantastic. Also, I saw there was an article in the Glendale Star featuring one of our teachers, Tim Ramsey, and for inspiring students. That was fantastic. All these great things that are going on. I mean, our schools may be shut down, but the district certainly isn't. Again, thank you. Thank you all for everything you do. And then next on the agenda is our consent agenda. Can I have a motion to approve consent agenda items A through J? I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Any discussion? Carrie, roll call.
Martin Quezada,
Yes.
Jose Arenas,
Yes.
Hilda Ortega Rosales,
Yes.
Jet White,
Yes.
Susan Sarin.
Yes.
There being 5 in favor, the motion carries.
Thank you. Dr. DeBlue, are there any announcements? Unmute. Unmute.
Oh, I should just follow my students so I can get smarter every day. Madam President, members of the board, community members, student board members, and members of Zoom and Facebook, welcome, welcome. I do have a few announcements. First of all, we have 3 of our veteran principals. All of our principals are amazing, and you already know that, but 3 of them have shown tremendous growth in their schools that we are awarding them, or you just awarded them a 2-year contract. So kudos to Jill Helen, Siobhan McCarthy, and Brian Wineski.
Yay.
Congratulations on a job well done. We appreciate you. And also, we're going to miss the Amberlia principal. She's taken on a new position, and we would like to welcome as our interim principal, Marissa Barrio. So congratulations, Marissa, and thank you, board. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Dr. DeBlue. We appreciate it. Next is the political agenda for ASBA, and we need 5 priorities, and also we can add 2 additional ones. And Carrie has made a copy of all the ones the board has proposed. So we will need, out of all of these, we'll need 7 to send to ASBA. We can't make a motion yet because we don't know which the priorities are. So does someone want to start and, you know, give a couple of their top ones? Well, I'll start. I know Senator Quezada, you had added some wording about provide additional state funding for nationally competitive salaries to attract, recruit, and retain talented teachers and staff, and ensure the public education funding is not negatively impacted, or only if necessary, minimized as much as possible if COVID-19 damages our economy to the point we need budget cuts. You also had number 2, ensure the public education funding is not negatively impacted. Do you want to combine both of those to make it one?
Yeah, and Madam President, I think what I did was I wasn't sure if it was clear in one, but if we can put it all in one, that would be the best, so we have an extra space. But if it didn't make sense, that's why I only did it in 2 separate ones.
Okay.
But I prefer number 1.
I prefer number 1 too. I think it's to the point, and I think we really need a push on funding because there is going to be a negative impact, unfortunately, and we have to keep pushing that we still receive the monies necessary to educate our students. Okay, I'm going to put that as a possible for number 1. Somebody have a couple others they'd like to have for the top 7.
You know, Madam President, you know, I know I shared a bunch last time, but then kind of seeing them again as far as the carryover goes, you know, I think sliding what you just talked about into that number 1 slot, because those are kind of the same thing from last time to this time.
Right.
I know looking at number 7, I think there was some discussion last time about maybe taking that off since some of that's happening to an extent. But I wonder about keeping it just because, you know, not only are SRO grants coming out of that, but also we know that social workers and counselors are a possibility as well. And I just think of you know, the need for social workers and counselors to begin with, but now coming back from being out of school and being away and maybe some of the adverse childhood events that maybe have occurred, being out for COVID or other things, keeping that in there just as with everything going on.
Right. I think I have to agree with you, Jet. So I'm going to put that down as a possible for number, we'll just make it 2. Okay, we need a few more. Does someone?
Madam President?
Go ahead.
Madam President?
Yes.
I would like to recommend that we keep in there the funding of, fully fund all-day kindergarten.
Okay, you have others?
I also would like to see the establish financial and academic transparency for all institutions that accept public funds.
Yes, I think that's going to be so important. We, especially, if there's cuts and, different things, we need to see what other institutions are doing. Okay, I'm going to put that down.
And then I just have one other comment in regards to your and Mr. White's recommendation around the school safety. I too believe that's very important, but if we get to the point where we have more priorities than what they've asked us to provide to them, the 7, I think that would be one that we may consider not including. And it's from a realistic perspective that this is for the agenda for 2021. And based on what we believe is going to be the economic impact of COVID-19, and the fact that we do have funding right now for next year for our school safety and our school counselors, that may be one that would not be considered for additional funding for next year by the legislature. And Senator Quesada, maybe you could give us a little bit more around that, but I just believe there's going to be so many priorities with a very, very small budget that may not be one that we would want to prioritize over another that we don't have funding in.
I just wanted to add that right after Mr. White made that statement about number 7, I too would concur. And I think this is even the pre-COVID-19 issues. There's been a lot of work this last few years with funding for our school safety initiatives, but I don't think there's been enough. I mean, that's just my personal feeling. I think there's been a lot, but not enough. So that was even my sentiment prior to COVID-19. So I know we're balancing what's happening now to as we move forward, but the fact of the matter is I think we and professionally believe that number 7 still needs to stay in there. It's still an initiative of ours, and I think it's still very important that SEL element of our students, our social emotional learning, is taken care of. And I still think that there's a lot more work to get done with that. Aside from just grants, aside from just supporting our SROs and our counselors and our social workers, there's programs, there's infrastructures, there's other areas of support that we could and need to. And I think
You froze up a little bit, Jose. It might be your internet. Let's hope he can come back on. Oh, Jose. Mr. Arenas, are you there? Okay, we'll continue. Hopefully he'll be able to get it back. Others?
Yeah, Madam President, I guess kind of following along with both Mr. White and Ms. Ortega Rosales's comments, I kind of go back and forth with number 7 on including it or not including it. And I think I also kind of went back and forth for the same reason with number 2, just because I don't think it's as realistic this year, this upcoming year. I mean, I suspect that we're going to have a tough time budget-wise next year. There's going to be a lot of needs, and there's not going to be a lot of money. I don't see there being a whole lot of energy invested in revising the whole formula for school finance. That's something we should absolutely do, but I just don't see it happening next year, just because of there's going to be so many other priorities. And I think kind of the same thing will be with number 7. I think it's something that we could possibly bring back next year as well. But I don't know how realistic it'll be to expect something like that to happen this year. I even had questions about trading. There's some in the second list from Mr. White's suggestions. I really like number 5 and I really like number 7. And I think that those are two things that that even outside of a budget discussion, they could probably be done without costing a whole lot of extra money. So I think that this might be an opportunity to really kind of emphasize those issues. And if we have to remove some other ones from the top, it could be like maybe number 2, number 7, or even, I even tossed around the idea, I love number 6 on the top, but you know, since we are a K-8 district, you know, we can let the high school kind of districts advocate for that. I love it, and if we have space for it, let's absolutely keep it. But if we need the space, I think we can move that one down a little bit too, and then move up maybe 5 and 7. But those are just my concerns, and you know, they're all good. So, I mean, I don't think we can go wrong picking any of these. But I think those are just my thoughts. Thank you.
Right. And Senator Quezada also had number 7 on Mr. White's circled because I thought that was very good. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I actually have 6 right now. And Mr. Arenas, you broke up a little bit, so we weren't able to hear everything you said. So if you want to continue, and if you have any others that you would like to see.
Well, I think that you got the gist of it, I think, or hopefully. Number 7 on the top list, I just think that
Okay, Jose, you broke up again, unfortunately.
Madam President, we can contact him so that I can get the information from him.
Okay. Jose, are you back with us? You keep going in and out. So does anyone have, we've got 6. And so if we want to go with those plus one more, does anyone have a 7th they'd like to put forward on the agenda?
Can you hear me now?
Madam President, just,
Yeah,
Madam President, just, oh, sorry.
Let's try.
Okay, okay, Jose, I'll take you first.
Go ahead, Martin.
So I just wanted a clarification. What are the 6 that we have now, just so that we know?
Okay, so up at the top, the one suggested by you, Senator Quezada, that's numbered number 1. And then on the second list, the carry forward, the number 4, fully fund all-day kindergarten. 5, establish financial and academic transparency. And 7, provide funding to individual districts to implement locally directed school safety initiatives. I have those, and then I have on Mr. White's list, number 5 and number 7. Okay. Mr. Arenas, do you have another one you'd like to put forward?
No, I'll try it one more time. So number 7, I think you got the gist of it. I just think that number 7 was important because pre-COVID,
We agree with you, Jose. We really do. Okay, I've got 6. So does anyone want to put forward a 7th one?
If no one else will, I would add from the 2020 agenda, number 3, the in-state tuition.
Yeah, I like that one too. Okay, is there any others anyone would like considered? If not, we've got our 7. And does anyone need them clarified at all again? And Carrie, did you get a list of them? Are you
I
good?
did get a list of them. Are there 5 that you prefer to be the top 5 and then 2 for the alternates? Because that's how they have me listed on ASBA. So it's top 5 priority, and then 6 and 7 are alternates.
Okay. Does anyone want to propose the 2 alternates?
I guess, and I don't feel great about this, but I would say probably that the in-state tuition could be an alternate one, only because it's a higher age of students. And again,
Right.
we're K-8, so I think we should prioritize K-8 issues. This does impact them, but maybe it's a close 5.5.
Right, I agree. And how about one more then? Mr. White, do you have anything you'd like to put as an alternate?
So I have to be completely honest, is that my daughters came in running here after bath time, so I missed the 7 that we've decided on. I got some of them, but I do not have enough information at this juncture to tell you which one would be an alternate. If you would like to redo them, and I apologize, then I'm happy to put forth an idea.
Okay, so we've got on the list, when you're looking at the list, number 1, for the provide additional state funding. We have that one. And then on the carry forward from the 2020 agenda, we have number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 7. And then from your list, Mr. White, we have number 5 and number 7.
So I think and I think this has kind of already been talked about, right? So we have number 7 from the carryover from 2020 is the safety initiatives. Is that accurate? So I think, I mean, again, to put it out there, like if we're talking about what's possible, right, financially, and kind of taking a dim view between COVID and a dim view of who's in charge of funding for our state and our schools, I think that I would put forward the safety initiative as a 6 or a 7, just because of the climate.
Okay. Does anyone disagree with that? Okay. Any other discussion on this? So I'll make a motion that the first 5 priorities for ASBA be the one to provide additional state funding, and then fully fund all-day kindergarten, establish financial and academic transparency. That's 3. And then enact research-based reform of the English language learner model, and support policy that protects school district employees and students from discrimination. And then the 2 alternates would be granting in-state tuition for Arizona Dreamer students, and provide funding to individual districts to implement locally directed school safety initiatives. There's motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any further discussion?
Madam President, I just want to thank Senator Quesada for the narrative that he did for number 1. That was excellent.
That was great, yes. Thank you all for your input. It's very valuable. And I would assume, I'm wondering, you know, when these go for voting, if they're going to have it via Zoom or how they're going to have it. And that should be interesting to see what, that's usually in September, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We'll have to see what the climate is then. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Carrie, roll call.
Martin Casada,
Yes.
Jose Arenas,
Yes.
Hilda Ortega Rosales,
Yes.
Jet White,
Yes.
Susan Zarin.
Yes,
There being 5 in favor, the motion carries.
thank you. And to our student board members, this is so important to get things out there for ASBA to lobby our legislatures on funding and different things for all of our students. So that's why this has been an important thing that we took 2 meetings to discuss it. to see which ones would be our highest priority. And then next, are there any items that anyone would like to see on a future agenda? There being none, the next meeting will be May 19th, and it will also be on Zoom. Again, thank you everyone for joining tonight. I appreciate it. Can I have a motion to adjourn the regular board meeting?
So moved.
Oh, I think we had Jet and then Hilda. Carrie, roll call.
Martin Casada,
Yes.
Jose Arenas,
He's smiling and saying yes.
Hilda Ortega Rosales,
Yes.
Jet White,
Yes.
Susan Zarin.
Yes.
There being 5 in favor, the motion carries.
Everyone have a great week. Stay indoors, stay safe, and thank you for all you do. Have a good evening.
Good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.